Well, good evening, good evening. What's going on, pro wrestling fans from around the world of all shapes and sizes? Welcome to another Pro Wrestling Talk video brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the U to the Tube. I'm your host, Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram. So, finally getting around to doing these reviews. This video will be my review of Impact Wrestling Final Resolution and NXT Deadl1ne. So, finally got around to watching those, and I do apologize in advance. I know I'm like so late on these, but had a lot going on, but thankfully I'm pretty much on vacation, so got a chance to get caught up on some things. So, got a chance to finally watch both of these shows from beginning to end. So, wanted to go ahead and give my reviews on both shows. So, we're going to start with Impact Wrestling Final Resolution 2023, the final pay-per-view or PLE, wherever you want to call it, final big show under the Impact Wrestling name before they transitioned back to TNA Wrestling in January. So, this year's Final Resolution took place December 9th, and this was at the Don Koloff Arena in Ontario, Canada. Mississauga, Ontario, Canada. Guess to be specific. Not familiar with that area. But they had a handful of matches, which apparently the pre-show had a lot more matches than I thought. Like, ended up having 3 matches. So, I'll definitely go over those. But, let's go ahead and get started. Now, I don't have the graphics for the first 2 pre-show matches, so just a FYI. But I do have graphics for the rest of the matches. So, just giving a heads up. Okay. So first, the pre-show, the countdown to Final Resolution, started off with a singles match. PCO versus Jessie V. Jessie V looks familiar. I can't remember where I last saw him, but Jessie V does look familiar. But yeah, PCO versus Jessie V. Match was alright. I mean, wasn't anything too crazy, to be honest with you. Wasn't long of a match, maybe 5 minutes. PCO did his thing, did some high flying, did some power moves. Ended up getting the victory over Jessie V after hitting a PCO salt. Pinned him for the 1-2-3. PCO picks up the victory in that first of 3 pre-show matches. Alright. Next up, we had Jack Price versus Aiden Prince. Now, I'm not familiar with either of these two, so this was my first time seeing both of them in action. I felt like the match was pretty even. I felt like it was back and forth. Jack Price was the heel in this match. Aiden Prince was the face in this match. But I felt like athletic ability and just overall ability from both, I felt like this was a pretty even matchup. Really could have gone either way. That's what I took from it. But it was decent. I mean, it was maybe about the same length as the first match, but still was pretty decent. But Jack Price picked up the victory in this match, pinning Aiden Prince after hitting him with the pressure check. So yeah, Jack Price with the victory. Okay, now I can bust out the graphics. Yeah, now I can bust out the graphics. Here we go. So let me, hold on a second. Okay, I don't know why it won't let me zoom in. 1 second. One second. I don't know why the graphics aren't working. Oh, here we go. Sorry about that. Sorry for the delay. Here we go. Okay. So, the final countdown, or the final countdown to final resolution pre-show match. Sheldon Jean versus Frankie Kazarian. Match was alright for the most part. I really wasn't expecting anything special in this match, but I felt like this was a good match for Sheldon to really get his feet wet more now that it seems like he's more of a singles wrestler now. So I definitely think this was a good pre-show match for him. I thought he did alright. But still overall, pretty one-sided match, if I keep it real with you. Which is no surprise. I mean, it's Frankie Kazarian. But sure enough, Frankie Kazarian gets the submission victory, was able to submit Sheldon with a chicken wing, or cross-face chicken wing, whichever you want to call it. But yeah, was able to get the submission victory, and he closes out the pre-show with the victory. Frankie Kazarian. Good stuff. Really good stuff. Okay. Now let's go into the main card. Let's go into the main card of this show. They opened up the main card with the Impact Tag Team Championships on the line. We had the champs, the ABC, Chris Bay, Ace Austin, defending the titles against Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers. Now, overall, this was a solid opening match. I know Eddie Edwards, Brian Myers isn't really my ideal type of team because, I mean, that team will never be better than the Wolves. Let's just keep it real. But I felt like they put up quite a challenge against the ABC. Definitely felt like they put up a challenge, and it showed. It definitely showed in this match. This was a really great tag title match to open up the main card. And, you know, I have a feeling that they will be teaming up again at some point. But the ABC continues to show why they are two-time Impact World Tag Team Champions, as they were able to hit Brian Myers with the 1-2-3 combo, which is, you know, the Art of Finesse plus the fold, and the cover from Chris Bay, 1-2-3, and the ABC retain the World Tag Team titles. And then after the match, the Rascalz, of course, Zachary, Wentz, Trey, Miguel, they attacked the ABC. So, looks like potentially setting up for them to challenge ABC for a future tag title opportunity. We shall see. But yeah, the Rascalz attacked them afterwards. So, there you have it. I actually don't have the graphic for this next match. This was kind of impromptu. But the next match was actually the Knockouts in action, as we had Alisha Edwards taking on Jody Threat. So this kind of just came out of nowhere, so to speak. I don't think this was, you know, initially on the card. But Brian Myers and Eddie Edwards were in Alisha Edwards' corner. But yeah, Jody Threat came out. They had a match. It was pretty good. It was a pretty good match. Not too long. Definitely not as long as the tag title match. But still, it was a pretty decent match. But Jody Threat ends up getting the victory. She pinned Alisha Edwards after pretty much hitting her with an F5. Pretty much like an F5 that she hit her with. And then pinned her for the 1, 2, 3. And hey, Jody Threat for the win. Which I believe Jody Threat, yeah, she was at home. Because this show was in Canada. And she's Canadian. So yeah, she was at home for this. So thought that was pretty cool. Okay. Let's keep it going with our next match. Next title match. So we had another title match. Here we go. All right, we had the Digital Media Championship on the line as the champion, Tommy Dreamer, defended against Deonna. As I've said before, I'm not really that much of a fan of Deonna, to be honest with you. So, I mean, this was a pretty easy one for me to go for Tommy Dreamer. And I mean, you know, Deonna did a little something, especially talked a lot of smack during the match. But, I mean, this match pretty much went how I thought it was going to go, to be honest with you. So, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it's not a whole lot I can say about this match. Not really anything crazy special. But, you know, Tommy Dreamer did what he had to do. Got the job done. Hit a DDT on Deonna. Pinned him for the 1, 2, 3. And Tommy Dreamer, still your digital media champion. So, that's all I can really say about that. Okay. Let's move on to our next match. Okay, so originally, this was supposed to be Speedball Mike Bailey versus Trey Miguel. This is what originally this was supposed to be. But after what Trey Miguel and, you know, Zachary Wentz, you know, the Rascalz, after what they did to the ABC, they ended up getting put into a tag team match against Speedball Mike Bailey and the newest member of the Impact Wrestling, soon to be TNA Wrestling family, Trent Seven. That's right, Trent Seven, announced as Speedball's tag team partner. I have to say, did not see that one coming. Did not see that one coming at all. And apparently, the name of the team was Speedball Mountain. Because, you know, Speedball Mike Bailey, Mustache Mountain, Trent Seven. But I have to say, Trent Seven looked good. He looked good. He was his usual self. And you know what? I definitely like the combination. Speedball and Trent Seven. That's a nice little combo. Now, of course, you know, the Rascalz still did their thing. I mean, definitely, this was a great match. I actually really enjoyed this match. Definitely enjoyed this match. But, yeah, I got to hand it to Speedball and Trent Seven. I like that combo. I definitely like that combo. And I have to say, the finish was awesome. The finish was really awesome. Trent Seven pins Zachary Wentz after a Burning Hammer Ultima Weapon combo. That's right. Trent hit Zachary Wentz with the Burning Hammer, and right afterwards, Speedball Mike Bailey off the top turnbuckle with an Ultima Weapon. Just, wow, what a combination. Trent Seven with the cover, and Speedball Mountain picks up the win. And then, of course, afterwards, Scott D'Amore comes down, has a contract for Trent Seven. He signs it on the back of Speedball, and there you have it. Trent Seven, now an official member of the TNA wrestling family. He's on the roster. And you know what? I think that's quite a nice catch. I think that's a nice catch. I like Trent Seven. Of course, I will always be a fan of Mustache Mountain and always a fan of British Strong Style. I mean, him, Tyler Bate, Pete Dunne. I mean, that trio and duo was just phenomenal. But I'm curious to see how he does in Impact Wrestling. TNA, Impact. I'm looking forward to see how he does in TNA Wrestling. So, I'm happy for him. I'm definitely happy for him. Okay. Let's move on to the next match. Alrighty, we had a singles match. Jake Something versus Jason Hotch. Of course, Jason Hotch is one half of the Good Hands. Tried to take Jake Something out backstage with a chair, but that didn't exactly go as planned because they still had the match. And let's keep it real. Jake Something ended up pretty much obliterating Jason Hotch. I mean, not to say that he didn't get any offense in, but let's keep it real. Jake Something obliterated Jason Hotch. Let's just keep it real. The match wasn't even that long. So, yeah. Jake Something got his revenge, put away Jason Hotch, hits him with into the void, and pins him for the 1, 2, 3. Like I said, not surprised at all. So, yeah, plain and simple as that. All right, let's move on to the next match. Okay, so we had a singles match. Rhino versus Moose. Now, I was really hyped up about this, but the way the sequence went was kind of annoying. So, first it started off as a regular match, and then I think about, less than 2 minutes, if even that, Moose hits Rhino with a low blow, gets himself disqualified. So therefore, Rhino wins the match via disqualification, just like that. Moose was trying to run away. Rhino's like, nope, not going to settle for a DQ loss, or not going to settle for a DQ victory. We're going to do this match again, but I challenge you to a street fight. And Moose still tried to run away, and then it was announced that the match was made official, street fight, Rhino versus Moose, and that if Moose did not compete, he would lose his world championship opportunity at Hard to Kill. So, of course, Moose had to do the match. So they did the match, and then, they had a legit match this time. It was all right. It was all right. It was a Moose versus a Rhino. That's really all I can say. But for the most part, it was all right. I had a little bit higher expectations personally, just a little bit higher expectations. But the match was all right. The match was all right. Moose ends up turning Rhino in half with a spear. Was able to get that spear off and then pin him for the 1, 2, 3. But yeah, Moose picks up the victory, which, you got to continue to keep him strong and give him momentum as he gets closer to TNA Hard to Kill. So, because he has a date with Alex Shelley for the title. So I can totally understand why he won this match. Okay. Next up, we have the ladies in action, the Knockouts. Let's do it. All right, we had ourselves a Knockouts tag team match. We have the team of the Knockouts champion Trinity and Jordynne Grace taking on the virtuosa Deonna Purrazzo and Gisele Shaw. Overall, I thought this was a pretty solid tag team match. Felt like all four ladies got in a good amount of offense. But yeah, I was very pleased with this match. All four ladies looked great. I definitely liked the back and forth between Jordynne Grace and Deonna Purrazzo. That was really nice. Trinity continued to show why she's champion, but gotta give shout out to Gisele Shaw. Gisele looked really good in this match. I thought she did really well in this match. But when it was all said and done, both Trinity and Jordynne Grace really put the finishing touches on Deonna Purrazzo after hitting a power bomb, full Nelson bomb combo. Jordynne Grace pins Deonna Purrazzo for the 1-2-3, and Trinity and Jordynne Grace pick up the victory. So that gives them a little something going into Hard to Kill when Jordynne Grace has a shot at the Knockout Championship. So that should be really good. Afterwards, there was some tension between Gisele and Deonna. There was a shove from Deonna. They got in each other's faces. They shook hands. And then Gisele took out Deonna with a full Nelson backbreaker into a flatliner. Almost kind of like a variation of a lethal combination almost. And takes out Deonna Purrazzo. So I'm not sure if this is supposedly their way of writing her off, because word is that Deonna Purrazzo's contract is about to expire, and the word is that she's going to be exploring free agency. So, and this is not to say that she can't return. She could always return, but this might be a way of them writing her off for now. Personally, I would like to see her in Japan. Maybe Stardom. Don't get me wrong. Impact Wrestling, TNA Wrestling has really treated Deonna very well. Very, very well. 3-time Knockouts champion. She was also a Knockout Tag Team champion. So, she was Knockout of the Year twice. So, she's had quite an awesome career with Impact Wrestling. Don't get me wrong. I'm just not so sure that there's much left for her to prove in Impact Wrestling / TNA. So, and I don't think WWE really went that well for her. Aside from the Mae Young Classic. So, personally, I would love to see her back in Stardom. I would love to see what she could do in Stardom against all the different talent there in Stardom, which she's competed in Stardom before. But even if not Stardom, I would love to see Deonna in Japan. I would love to see how she would do in Japan. So that's just me. But I wouldn't be mad if she re-signed a new contract to stay with TNA Wrestling. We'll see. Okay. And then the main event of Final Resolution, the final Impact Wrestling pay-per-view, comes down to this special tag team match. We got the Motor City Machine Guns, Impact World Champion Alex Shelley, X Division Champion Chris Sabin, taking on the team of the Walking Weapon Josh Alexander, and the current NJPW World Television Champion Zack Sabre Jr. And I have to say, this was an awesome main event. Definitely awesome main event. Of course it's an awesome main event. It has the Motor City Machine Guns, my all-time favorite tag team, in there. So, this was back and forth. Honestly, this match, this could have gone either way. This really could have gone either way, and I have to say, I was very impressed with this main event. And just even the synergy and chemistry that Josh Alexander had with Zack Sabre Jr., which, I don't even know if they've teamed up before, but they really, this was almost a 30-minute long match. I think this was a little over 25, 26 minutes long. But yeah, this was almost a 30-minute match. So I have to say, kudos to them for just allowing these four to really work. And you know, you got the Guns in there, one of the best tag teams. You know, two incredibly great wrestlers, and Josh Alexander, Zack Sabre Jr., which they did well as a tag team. They really did well. Just a lot of offense from both of these teams. And sure enough, just out of nowhere, just one last quick sequence, out of nowhere, Josh Alexander was able to hit Chris Sabin with a C4 spike and then pin him for the 1-2-3. So Josh Alexander and Zack Sabre Jr. win the final pay-per-view of Impact Wrestling era with this victory at Final Resolution 2023. So, like I said, no shame to the Guns on that loss, but an excellent main event. They really went all out in this main event. And speaking of TNA Wrestling, yet another talent has been signed to TNA Wrestling. And that is the time splitter himself, Kushida. That's right. He is now officially a member of the TNA Wrestling roster. But it is also said that he will still compete in New Japan Pro Wrestling as well. So, hey, I am still really hopeful that Time Machine, you know, the Guns, mostly Machine Guns, and Kushida, hopefully they'll get to compete in Japan again and hopefully become never open weight 6-man tag team champs. Like, I need them to have some sort of trios title at some point. And honestly, that's probably the best one that they have a chance to go after. So I'm just really hoping that Time Machine will finally do that. I really do. But something tells me that Kushida is definitely in line for an X Division title run, for sure. Who knows? Maybe he'll be the one to dethrone Chris Sabin. You never know. But overall, nice final pay-per-view in the Impact Wrestling era. And that was one heck of a main event. One heck of a main event. So, good stuff. Looking forward to see what TNA Wrestling brings in January. Hard to Kill. Next pay-per-view. Okay, before we switch gears to NXT Deadline, here's a quick word on the sponsor of this video, Game Beauty. Check them out. As you continue to enjoy content here at Blitzball Champ Gaming, be sure you take a moment to check out Game Beauty. Beauty inspired by gaming. Game Beauty brings to you video game related makeup and cosmetic products. You have products such as eyeshadow palettes, elemental pearl highlighters, eyeshadow brushes, liquid eyeliner pens by Akidiris, and even non-makeup products like graphic tees. They even have special collaboration makeup kits, such as this Persona 5 Heat Wave Brush Single, Metaverse Bundle, and even a Phantom Thieves limited edition makeup collection. Also remember that Game Beauty provides international shipping of $60 or more. And if you use the promo code BlitzballChamp, all in caps, you can get 10% off of your order. So be sure to use that to your advantage. Now, back to your regularly scheduled video. Enjoy, and thank you. Alrighty. NXT Deadline 2023. This took place Saturday, December 9th. This was at the Total Mortgage Arena in Bridgeport, Connecticut. So, final resolution in Canada, NXT Deadline in the US. So, had them split up like that. But we had 7 total matches with 1 pre-show match. We had 1 pre-show match. But yeah, overall, decent show. But yeah, let's go ahead and get right into it. Alright. Okay, first off, we have the pre-show match. The Deadline kickoff. We had a singles match between Nathan Frazier and Axiom. Now, these two know each other very well. I mean, they had a best of 3 series. If I remember correctly, it was a best of 3. And, yeah, went back and forth. Nathan Frazier, I believe, won that series. But it was either a best of 3 or a best of 5. I think it was a best of 3. But Nathan Frazier ended up winning that series. So here we are once again, them facing off. Like I said, these two know each other very well. They have great chemistry, and it definitely showed in this match. It was definitely back and forth, loaded with high-flying goodness, loaded with striking goodness. Both of these superstars are awesome. But Axiom gets the last laugh in this match, as he was able to take out Nathan Frazier with a golden ratio and then pin him for the 1-2-3. So Axiom picks up the victory over Nathan Frazier. Good sign of sportsmanship after the match. So, yeah, it was really, really cool. So congratulations to Axiom on winning the kickoff match. Alrighty. And then to start the main card, we go right into the first championship match. All right. We had the NXT North American Championship on the line as Dominik Mysterio, the champion, also part of the Judgment Day, defended against Dragon Lee. Of course, with Rey Mysterio on commentary. He was, in Dragon Lee's corner, but he was on commentary. Now, we know that previously this was supposed to be Wes Lee, but unfortunately he is out indefinitely and is supposed to be getting back surgery. So, speedy recovery for Wes Lee. This match was all right. I mean, I felt like Dominik Mysterio got in a decent amount of offense, and you know what? It was just good to see him work without any help from Judgment Day, because nobody from Judgment Day was there, and this was a straight-up one-on-one match. Now, of course, Dom did talk a lot of smack and, taunted, his father, Rey Mysterio, on commentary, but when it was all said and done, Dragon Lee did exactly what he had to do to pick up the victory, hitting that somersault reverse DDT on Dominik Mysterio, pinning him for the 1-2-3. And ladies and gentlemen, Dragon Lee is your new NXT North American champion. So congratulations to him. Dominik Mysterio has been dethroned. He has been dethroned. So it'll be interesting to see what happens, because I think one of his biggest complaints was, where was Mommy? Where was Judgment Day? And blah, blah, blah. So yeah. But honestly, I'm happy for Dragon Lee. Definitely happy for Dragon Lee. But it was actually a pretty good match from Dom, especially seeing him work without any interference. So hopefully that'll continue. Okay, let's go into our next match, which is the first of 2 Iron Survivor Challenge matches. Here we go. So, your competitors: Tiffany Stratton, Lash Legend, Kalani Jordynne, Fallon Henley, and Blair Davenport. So, let me kind of go over how this works. So, 25-minute time limit. Starts off with 2 ladies, and then every 5 minutes, another lady enters into the match until everybody's there. First one to pick up the most points by the 25-minute time limit wins. You pick up points by pinfall, submission, and I guess disqualification as well. But yeah, that's how you pick up points. If you get a pinfall, submission, all that jazz, you get a point. If you're the recipient of a submission, pinfall, disqualification, whatever, then you are put into the penalty box for 90 seconds. So that's pretty much the rules of this match. This was the second Iron Survivor Challenge for the women, because they debuted this last year. They debuted this last year. So the match started off with Fallon Henley and Blair Davenport. So I'll just go ahead and tell you the order which everybody came in, and then I'll tell you the order of the pinfall submissions, that jazz. So the order of appearance: Fallon Henley, Blair Davenport, then Tiffany Stratton, then Kalani Jordynne, and then Lash Legend was the last one to enter into this match. Now, overall, I thought the ladies did well. I thought this was a great match with all 5 of these ladies. They did some great things in this match. A good amount of high flying from both Tiffany Stratton and Kalani Jordynne. I felt like they were the premier high flyers in this match. Although Fallon Henley did a little something as well. Lash Legend really showcased her power in this match. Blair Davenport's just amazing overall. But I enjoyed this match. I actually legit enjoyed this match. But let's go over the scoring. So Blair Davenport got the first pinfall. So she pinned Fallon Henley. So she got 1 point. Then Fallon Henley pinned Tiffany Stratton. So, Fallon Henley gets a point. Then Lash Legend pins Tiffany Stratton. So Lash gets a point. So Blair, Fallon, and Lash each have a point. Or actually, I'm sorry. Lash Legend pinned both Tiffany and Fallon Henley at the same time. So she ended up getting 2 points on that one cover because she pinned both of them at the same time. So the score at this time is Lash Legend 2, Fallon Henley 1, Blair 1, Tiffany 0, Kalani 0. All right, let's keep going. Then Blair Davenport ties it up with a pin over Kalani Jordynne. Then Tiffany Stratton finally gets on the board with her first points. She pinned Lash Legend. And then Blair takes the lead with a pinfall over Fallon Henley. So when it comes down to it, the final score was Kalani Jordynne 0, Tiffany Stratton 1, Fallon Henley 2, Lash Legend 2, Blair Davenport 3. So Blair Davenport is your Iron Survivor for the ladies here at NXT Deadline. She was my pick. She was definitely my pick. Congratulations to her. So with her winning, that means she has become the #1 contender to the NXT Women's Championship that currently is held by Lyra Valkyria, and she will get her title shot at New Year's Evil, which is on January 2nd. So, looking forward to that. She got on the mic, gloated a little bit. Lyra Valkyria came out. And as she came out, Cora Jade attacked her from behind. So Cora Jade is back. So she's back. So we'll have to see what happens. But, I still got to get caught up on, this week's NXT. But yeah, Cora Jade returns, beats down, or attacks from behind Lyra Valkyria. But Blair Davenport, your Iron Survivor for the women. So congratulations to her. Alrighty, let's move on to the next match. 1 second. Yeah, let's move on to the next match. Here we go. Next up, we had a singles match. Lexis King versus Carmelo Hayes. Overall, pretty good match. I have to say, I'm definitely digging Lexis King's character. I just hope that he continues to have more matches, because he hasn't really had that many. I think this might be his second match since debuting. Maybe third, I don't know. But hopefully he gets more matches and really continues to build up his character more. But this was a pretty good match. I was a little bit surprised that Carmelo Hayes picked up the victory. I honestly thought Lexis King was going to win, but Melo was able to outlast Lexis King and was able to finish him off with a nothing but net, pinned him for the 1-2-3. So that was really cool to see. After the match, Lexis got on the mic, said, hey, great match, but just wanted to remind you, I'm not the one that attacked Trick Williams. But, thanks for the spot here on the PLE. And just left it at that. But once again, the detail of he did not attack Trick Williams. So, quite a lot of buzz with this storyline in NXT. So, have to wait to see how it goes. But Carmelo Hayes walks away with the victory. Okay, next up, they went ahead and did the men's Iron Survivor Challenge, which I honestly thought that was going to be the semi-main event. But here we go. So same rules as the women. So for the men, we had Trick Williams, Dijak, Josh Briggs, Tyler Bate, and Braun Breaker. Okay, I'm going to tell you right now, the ending of this match and how it was done was garbage. Was complete garbage. The other parts of the match were all right, but the ending really ruined it for me. The way that the ending was done. I don't hate that the winner won, but I hate how it was done. I don't like how it was done. I thought it was garbage. But let me go over the order of appearance. So, Dijak and Josh Briggs started out. Of course, Dijak came out first and Josh Briggs. So they were the first two to start this match. Then you had Tyler Bate. Then you had Trick Williams. And then Braun Breaker was the last one to come into the match. All right. Now let's go over the points. So Dijak scores first, got a pin on Briggs. And then Briggs was able to return the favor, and he ties it up by pinning Dijak. So Briggs and Dijak have a point. Then Tyler Bate pins Dijak, so Tyler Bate gets his first point. And then he pins Trick Williams to go up to 2 points, so he's in the lead. And then all of a sudden, when Braun Breaker comes in, he just gets a hat trick. 3 spears to Josh Briggs, Tyler Bate, and Dijak. Pins each one of them separately to take the lead, 3 points. And then Dijak was able to pin Trick to get himself 2 points. Then Tyler Bate was able to tie the score with Braun Breaker, pinning Dijak. And then Dijak was able to tie up the score to 3, pinning Trick. Or actually, he pinned Trick, and Josh Briggs got his 2nd point, pinning Braun Breaker after they both did double moonsaults. Which, you know, definitely shows Josh Briggs and Dijak's high-flying ability, which they do have, very agile. So, at this point, Josh Briggs has 2. Tyler Bate, Dijak, and Braun Breaker all have 3 points. Now, remember, Trick Williams still has 0 points, and he got pinned the most. Therefore, he got sent to the penalty box the most in this match. Now, with pretty much about less than a minute left, this dude comes back and gets 4 straight pins to win this thing in under a minute. Now, not only that, now I understand that Eddie Thorpe did interfere, you know, to attack Dijak, but Trick got 3 roll-up pins, 3 straight roll-ups. And then he hit his finisher at the last minute to get the final pinfall. And just like that, gets 4 straight points to come back and win this thing. Are you kidding me? Not to mention, after this dude was taking finisher after finisher, he gets speared into the barricade. He gets hit with the Feast Your Eyes. He gets hit with a spiral tap. But yet, just comes out of it, comes back just to get roll-up pins and to take the lead. Give me a break. I understand he was the underdog, but that was way overbooked. Ridiculously overbooked. Really? He gonna take all those finishers and signatures and then just get the roll-ups. Dude, that's almost as bad as when CM Punk went up against Wardlow, took 10 power bombs. He went for the 11th. He reverses it, rolled up Wardlow for the 1, 2, 3. Which made absolutely no freaking sense whatsoever and was the biggest joke ever. No, this wasn't as bad as that, but it was pretty bad. I'm sorry, taking all that punishment and then just comes back and in the midst of that to get 4 straight pinfalls, with 3 of them being roll-ups. No, I'm sorry. I mean, I get that Trick Williams won this, but the way that ending was done, the way that sequence of how he got the points was freaking ridiculous. That was ridiculous. So, that really left a bad taste in my mouth. The way that match ended. So, yeah, I freaking hated it. I hated it. Congrats to Trick Williams. I get him winning, but the way it was done was garbage. All right. Let's go to our next match, which this was the semifinal match. All right, we had the steel cage match. Roxanne Perez versus Kiana James. This match could only be won by a pinfall or submission, and even Kiana James tried to escape, but, you know, for this particular match is not a win by escape. So, you know, I thought that was pretty funny that she tried to do that. But anyway, these two went back and forth. I mean, it was all right. It was all right. Definitely went back and forth, and this has been quite a rivalry. Quite a rivalry for sure. And I don't think it's over yet. I definitely don't think it's over yet. But Kiana James was able to get the last laugh. She brought a chair into the cage. Roxanne was able to get it out of her hands and pretty much had her at her mercy. Went to go close the cage door, and out of nowhere, Izzy Dane appears and slams the door shut on Roxanne. And then Kiana was able to take the chair, hit her on the back, and then hit her with the deal breaker using the chair and pinned her for the 1-2-3. So Kiana James had a little assist from Izzy Dane that eventually would lead to this finish. And Kiana James wins the cage match. But like I said, this is why I feel like it's not over between these two. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, this rivalry is definitely not over. Okay, and then the main event of NXT Deadline 2023 came down to the NXT Championship. The champion, Ilya Dragunov, taking on Baron Corbin. I have to say, this was definitely Baron Corbin's best match. This was his best match. Hands down, this was his best match. Baron Corbin looked really solid. And even though I'm not a fan of his character because I do prefer Lone Wolf Baron Corbin, I got to give him credit. This was definitely his best match in the WWE so far. Got to give him credit. He put up an excellent fight with Ilya Dragunov. And, you know, Ilya Dragunov just kept bringing it, but I gotta give a shout out to Baron Corbin. He looked excellent in this match, and he really brought it. And honestly, he came close to winning. Even busted open Ilya Dragunov a little bit. But he came close to winning. But I didn't think Ilya Dragunov was going to lose, and surely enough, was able to finish strong. Hit a couple of H-bombs on Baron Corbin, and then picked him up and hugged him and kind of whispered something at him. And then was eventually able to take him out with one Torpedo Moscow. And then covered him for the 1-2-3. Ilya Dragunov, still your NXT champion. Which means Ilya Dragunov will defend against Trick Williams at New Year's Evil, since Trick Williams won the Men's Iron Survivor Challenge. So, quite a main event. But like I said, shout out to Baron Corbin. Dude, you did your thing. You did good. You did really good. But, not bad. But yeah, that's pretty much the last PLE for the WWE to finish out the year 2023. But yeah. And also, I wanted to mention, word is that Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch's contracts are getting ready to expire. I want to say some point in 2024, I think February, maybe March or something like that. But word is their contracts are supposed to be up in early 2024. So we'll see if they renew or what. Honestly, if you ask me, I could see Becky Lynch renewing. For Seth, I think Seth needs to take time off and get his body together. I think he needs to get his body restored. I really do. Before he ends up hurting himself worse. But that's just me. I'm not Seth Rollins. I don't know his body like that. He knows his body. And also, they just announced NXT Vengeance Day for February 4th. And this will be at Clarksville, Tennessee. I'm sorry. Clarksville, Tennessee at the F&M Bank Arena. So that's February 4th of next year. So go ahead and mark your calendars for that. But there we have it. Impact Final Resolution, NXT Deadline in the books. Overall, pretty good shows. I definitely enjoyed them. But that'll do it for this video. Don't forget to check out the link to Game Beauty. And let me know what y'all's thoughts were on these 2 final shows for the year. Let me know what you thought about Impact Wrestling Final Resolution. What'd you think of the card? What'd you think of the matches? And same thing with NXT Deadline 2023. What'd you think of those matches? What'd you think of the outcomes? Let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell while you're at it. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. For another Pro Wrestling Talk brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the U to the Tube, I'm your host, Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram. Hope everybody has a blessed evening, and I will see y'all in the next video. Laters.